Okay. That was crazy. Oh my God, fantastic. I love it. Oh. Hello everyone. I hope you're having a good day. I'm back with another reaction video today. I'm excited to take a look at Archspire's drone Corpse Aviator. Oh my gosh, what a sequence of words. I am not able to get it out of my mouth. So you're seeing probably the 20th time that I said that. Anyway, really excited to see it. I saw one of their other videos before that I did a practice reaction to way back in the day, like before I started this channel, just to see if this was sort of like worth pursuing, worth doing. And I had so much fun reacting to that one. And they make some really fun, really interesting videos. And I never published that one because it was more for me kind of to figure out like what I was doing. But now I'm gonna try and react to another one of theirs, and I'm excited to check it out. Just so you know what we get up to here on this channel, I'm a filmmaker, so I'm a writer-director by trade, and I kind of look at the music videos specifically and try to sort of enlighten you on what goes into making a music video, and also like how they work together with the music to really create the package that we all love. And so that's kind of my thing. I'm a lifelong metalhead and just have always been really into this thing. And yeah, so I'm not here to really do a reaction to the music. If that's what you're looking for, you probably want to go elsewhere. But without further ado, let's get into it. Whoa, couple things. So first of all, can someone tell me what the AUM or OM with the rose is? Is that like a symbol or a logo or something? It's reminding me a lot of the Om Shinryo, anyway, the Japanese cult. I know that's not it though, because that's a different symbol. So anyway, someone please tell me what that is. It seems very relevant, especially to open on that, right? And I think I've seen it in the other video that I've seen before from them as well. And I was kind of like, I don't know what this is. So tell me. And then we open on some pretty cool stuff. We have this beautiful shot here with the green, which I really love. And then we have these sort of like, I don't know, we'll call them drum technicians, right? Working on the drummer here. Who seems very intense and looks a lot like my cousin Eric, who is also a metal drummer from the Netherlands. And so he reminds me a lot of him. And so first of all, these nurses or technicians, I guess, it's what we'll call them for now. They remind me a lot of the character of Elijah Wood in Sin City. In Sin City, he's also wearing these glasses that have the white, and he really stands out. Trying to find it. Do we get? Yes, here's the close-up. So that really reminds me of that. I don't know quite how they achieved this. It looks like they were shining a pretty strong light on these glasses, but they probably amped it way up in post as well to kind of get that really blown out effect. Really cool looking. Love the blues and greens here. And I see something like a smoke machine going on as well to make sure that the light really reflects really nicely on those light or on the smoke. And just to go back here, we see some tube lights here, the green, really kind of, and if you've watched some of my videos, you know I'm a fan of tube lights. These are lights that are basically LED lights that you have a lot of control over with an app, and you can basically give them any color, but they still kind of look like those fluorescent lights, or what do we call those ceiling lights? You know, the ones that we have in like offices and such. They look a lot like those lights, except they're not. So that's really cool. And so the drummer also has some special effects, like practical special effects going on in the makeup. He's looking a little bit like he's got, you know, in the Matrix when Neo finds out that he's actually like he's taken out of the Matrix and he has all those plugs in his body, and they kind of remind me of that, except with like some sort of black veins coming from that. But I'm getting lots of little film references here, and if I remember correctly from the different video by Archspire that I saw, they had some film references in there as well, and I believe that it's the same director. I just did a quick check, and that was Bleed the Future, the video that I saw before, and it's directed by the same people, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a similar type of film references going on here. So I'm really excited to see that. It's really cool. And then we sort of transition beyond, you know, the drummer, and we basically go into this space where we're doing some sort of like old school experiments, and it looks really creepy. So I'm loving that. I'm really enjoying the color grading as well. I really love the tones that they went for, which obviously I'm guessing that the guys who directed it or shot it must have also color graded this as well, because it looks very intentional. Anyway, I'm really loving the color scheme that we've got going on here. So let's see where we go next. I love the camera movement where we're just basically moving upside down, and I already got the Matrix reference before, but now we're actually seeing the numbers. That's so, you know, Matrix, except they're blue, which is really cool. I love that. I also think the sort of EEG brain scan type of thing that they've got going on here, which that's not actually an EEG. I actually think that they put the ECG or EKG pads that you normally have with the heart scan on his head, so that looks kind of funny. But it's all really, really cool looking, and I love that they're sort of experimenting on him. Something that always stands out to me about the Archspire videos is that they seem to be having so much fun. You can just tell from the way that they're doing these videos. So really love that. Very cool. I love that slow bit in the music too. That was really nice. And these guys have such a cinematic sense of color and framing, and you know, the angles here are just really very nice. And I love this split screen too, where they just like split the screen in half and they added these white bars, which kind of looks kind of cool. Love this here. So again, the lighting is very nice. So we're using these tube lights again, right? So now they're blue, and we have a more warmer toned light that's shining on him, and this laughter tattoo stands out especially because that's kind of where the light hits him. And you can kind of see here quite well how they worked these glasses in post, where it looks kind of like they were masked. And with masking, I mean that you kind of trace what area you want to, edit in your editing program, and then it creates sort of a cutout, and it tracks with the movement. And it's very possible that they actually used or that they actually had a green piece or something on these glasses here, the green screen. But if you put like any type of like green tape or green cloth or anything like that on these, on whatever surface, really, you can work with that in post. Now, what's really interesting, and this is something that the VFX supervisor pointed out in a comment on the video for Nightwish and their video Noise, like this was the VFX supervisor on the project. What he pointed out was that if you're working in a set that has a lot of green going on, like if you're using green screen then or something else, if you've ever seen behind the scenes footage for Mad Max Fury Road, how they taped Charlize Theron's arm with like green tape so that they could remove it in post because her arm is cut off. If your set is all green, that's going to affect what you will edit all of the other green on the set as well. That's just how it works. And usually they use green because you don't use green as much as other colors. And so it's easier to affect that just and isolate that green. Now I'm thinking of that opening scene that was very green, this here. And here they have the glasses too. I'm just really curious like how they achieve that effect, because I'm thinking about how I would do it, and it would be something like that, but it's also possible that the glasses were just white and they pumped up the brightness like to crazy levels on their color grade. So that's another way. A little bit of a ramble. Love this shot as well. Very cool. I love that he's kind of like sweaty. I don't know why. But I love the geometry of the lines here in the background, really cool. And I love that they chose to only light half of his face, which makes it look really mysterious. And his face here almost looks like a little bit of a skull, because all we can see almost is like the his eyebrow and the eye socket, but we can't really see his eyes. So it just looks really kind of creepy. And then obviously this shot here is great. I love how they rack the focus to these two creepy nurses. Another thing that's possible now that I'm looking at it, it's possible that there's actually a light in here, although it looks too consistent for it. Oh my gosh, I hope that maybe the directors or people involved in this video will see this and they can tell me like, how did you achieve the thing with the glasses? Because it's tripping me up. Really love that effect though. It's so cool. Anyway, really enjoying this so far. It's such a stylistic approach to these videos that I really love about the Archspire videos. I feel like this is a really great shot. I love how crisp it looks. I love the reflection of the blue lights here on these metal devices, and it really looks like a shot from a horror film. And it looks really cool. I love this. So cool. So I think the brain thing is more like they're trying to simulate some sort of like electroshock, therapy, and it looks really cool. And then what they did here with these lights, and I forgot to mention this before. So these just look like regular sort of fairy lights. And they sort of put them on their hands as if they're being, measured, or they're like getting, because they use like his face was contorting a bit, so they're emulating as if they're maybe getting hurt by these or something, or they're being, like, the muscles here are being stimulated by this thing, so they have to play or something like that. But what I think is really cool here is that they're basically fairy lights, and this is such an efficient, effective way of achieving something like this. And they tape them onto their fingers, and it really looks like, you know, what we might expect with a sort of crazy, creepy horror style experiment like this. And he's wearing the scrubs. I really like their costumes. Like they're very hospital-y, right? And it's great for the setting and the tone. But yeah, my thing was like, this is such an efficient way to achieve that look without, you know, going all out on all of these crazy props. And it just goes to show that to make it look good, you don't need to spend a whole, like, ton of money, because it's all also in one location. You know, it's a very efficient use, and the reason why it looks so good is the lighting, and that's what makes it look so cinematic. So it's definitely a little smaller in scale than the Bleed the Future video, and I feel like that's a newer video, and they probably went all out on that one. And it's just, maybe I will still do a reaction to that one too, even though I've already seen it. But I just really love it and appreciate it so much just for what it is and like how creative that one is. And I'm just seeing like how they went from this to that. You can already see some of that. So let's continue watching.
Corpse Aviator.
Okay. That was crazy. Oh my God, fantastic. I love it. Oh, where do I start? There was so much going on, but I didn't want to stop it because there was so much going on. Couldn't look away. Right, so basically this sweaty guy, I don't know what else to call him. Like he ended up being like the crazy conductor. I guess he was like the Dr. Frankenstein of it all or something. And they were his monsters. He was doing his experiments on them, and then eventually like he takes it too far and they all like violently melt and blow up. Oh, I love the special effects here. That is so cool. It reminds me so much of like this 80s body horror type stuff, like this whole thing. Kudos, like that is great. I love the melting effect and like the skull revealing itself, and like that is really a throwback to like old horror, and it's so sweet. I love that. So creepy and so cool. Just well done. Really, really cool. That must have been a lot of fun to shoot and to kind of put together. And it's tough. Those kinds of special effects, like you need people who can do those well. Again, I can see how this led to Bleed the Future. And that's like this, but bigger, right? It's, what a cool video. Oh my gosh. Again, okay, so we have all these fantastic colors. We have these guys just being completely, you know, played to death. More of this melting head, which is so cool. And I really would like, does anyone know if there's BTS for this? If there's like a making of video, I would love to see it if there is. So they have these neck devices on their necks, which are obviously like the bombs that's gonna blow off their heads. And this is also, the lighting is so good. It's very stylistic and very, it's very dark for sure, but because they use the lighting so well, again, like here's only like one light that's basically like illuminating his forehead. And again, like his face looks so skull-like, almost like reminiscing, like the melting face, like, not reminiscing, I mean, resembling the melting face. It's, what a great job. Yeah. Wow. Sorry, I guess you're dealing with a horror fan. They would have had some sort of dummy heads, and that's what you blow up with just a whole lot of gore and stuff. Because yeah, you might not think so, but it's not actually the band members that they're blowing up. Really cool, very well done. Also, this is just like, oh, so gross, but again, it's very effective. It's like a horror film. It's absolutely disgusting. Well, good thing I can't monetize any of these videos anyway, because I think that, you know, YouTube would be like, ooh, that's a bit too much. Okay, let's watch the ending credits. Excellent. So as I thought, the director turns out also to be the DP, and he also does post as well. So editing, color grading, all of that stuff. And to me, because it looks so consistent, that to me sort of signaled that it was just one person or like two people max. And you can kind of tell from that. So that was kind of cool. Oh, and we see a special thanks to David Cronenberg, who's like the, you know, the final boss of body horror. So I'm not surprised that they would give him special thanks. I don't know if he's actually like involved on this stuff. Would he be? Or is this just like an homage to David Cronenberg? Let me check. Can't really find anything about his actual involvement, so I'm guessing that they're just like giving him like the kudos that he deserves for inspiring them. So that's really cool. For me, it's clear that it's inspired by that sort of stuff, right? So love that. Not Acme props. These guys crack me up. They always do. It seems like they are having a lot of fun with all of this. So very cool. Love that. Love the post-credit scene. That's cute. Great. What a fantastic video. I mean, it's an acquired taste, that's for sure, both the music and the video, I suppose, but yeah, I love it. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts though. Like, is this something that you can kind of dig? Do you like Archspire? Do you like this type of video? You know, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you're familiar with David Cronenberg, let me know what your favorite movie of his is. And yeah, Just what's the coolest body horror you've seen lately? I had to think about it for a second, but I think for me it's Raw, the French film, and probably Under the Skin. Let me know if you've seen those, what your thoughts were on those ones. It's such a specific genre, but it's really cool. And it can be if it's like, yeah, it's gross, but it's usually about like a very specific type of fear too, right? So, and I think with Raw specifically, they did that really well. So let me know your thoughts. And yeah, way to go, Archspire. Anyway, you can find me on Patreon. I'm there. I got some like exclusive stuff, some sneak previews to work of my own. There's videos that have gotten banned from YouTube, and just it's where we hang out and have fun with a select group of people. And yeah, you can subscribe to me here on YouTube. Please do if you enjoyed this, and I hope I'll see you on the next one. Peace.